Hello, everybody, and welcome to Paranormal Nation Radio. Not so normal. As we are here each and every week, got Cameron here, got Denise, Ron's out on a walk, and you're all in for a big surprise because Denise brought us a guest. But before we do that, how was your week?
Mine was good so far. Leah got married last Tuesday. I was the officiant.
Congratulations.
I don't know. She asked me not to file the paperwork, and then she asked me to file the paperwork. Then asked me today, how soon can I file for divorce?
Oh, you're kidding.
I'm like, you can't. I just mailed the paperwork off this morning. So it's like, okay, whatever. And
there a way to get it annulled?
I don't know.
Because my sister did the same thing not a year and a half ago or 2 years, something like that. She got married. Guy, we found out he was a little more manipulative. Needless to say, he left the state very quickly when me and Phil, my brother, found out. Yeah.
So
she might be my older sister, but I still know how to hide a body.
Well, so needless to say, we did that. Lacey came in from Vegas. We had a good time. Lindsay went down to Pensacola, looked at some houses, found the same subdivisions we found and liked them all just like we did. And so hopefully they'll be able to get a house. And today, like I was telling you guys earlier, I'm going to be testing some things to find out what has COVID in Denise's house.
I'm honestly surprised.
These are the tests you got from the government, right?
These are the tests that I got from the government. And I am going to be testing, like I said, Mr. President, the prick.
Again, not so sharp.
Polly Paranormal,
Hey.
the ugly doll with the weird face. I mean, that's an ugly doll. I'm going to test an Oreo cookie. And I think I'm going to test my phone.
Oh, you got to tell them the story about the...
No, you got to test your drink there, too.
I'm not putting any chemicals in my drink.
No. You take your straw, create a vacuum with your finger over the straw, and then just drop it on top of it. That way there's no cross-contamination.
But then there may be cross-contamination saying I have COVID and I don't. But yeah, these are 15-minute tests.
Yeah, it's not bad.
So these are 15-minute tests, so we can do this here near the beginning. People can see me test the stuff, and then we're going to find out what has COVID in Denise's house.
I've been surrounded by people with COVID a lot at work, and I have yet to get the same symptoms and everything. I have had 2 weeks. One was actually last week where I've just been exhausted, falling asleep, going to work, falling asleep, coming back from work. I passed out yesterday at 5:30. So that's the only thing I can imagine that me having COVID. But I have a retardedly high immune system, and it's really obnoxious when you want to take just...
You're also taking black seed oil like I told you to.
Yeah, I also drank water out of the garden hose as a kid, ate leaves, ate dog food, ate cat food, ate worms. I ate... That's true, too. Pretty much everything that could have gotten you sick as a kid and an adult. Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem with that is your age and my age of what we did when we were kids eating stuff, your dirt, your grass, and all that has chemicals on it.
Mm-hmm.
Ours didn't.
It just means I'm more special.
I played around in gasoline and oil.
I lit my yard on fire with gasoline. Dad doesn't know that story. I hope he's not here today. Dad, are you in the chat room right now?
No, he's not.
Good. I'm safe for now. Yeah, he never found that out, I don't think. How I lit his yard on fire. Pretty well on fire, too.
Well, Denise, before you start that, you want to bring your guest on?
Yeah, let's bring on my guest.
You want to introduce him?
No.
Let's just bring him on.
My guest name today is Frank J. Bennett. He is an author, paranormal author at that. And he writes about all kinds of other things as well. He used to also be a friend of the late Don Wells, in case that comes up. And he is also a little bit political. He's lived in places like Delaware, Maryland, Florida, currently Ohio. So he's got some perspective on some of these politicians as well. So I think that you guys will enjoy Frank. He's been a friend of mine, and we actually grew up not too far from each other, a few years apart.
I like the reveal, Frank.
And it's another Baltimorean for you. So there you go.
Can't beat that introduction.
Not very, very, very special intro there.
It is. I don't usually do too many intros.
No, I was talking about him taking his glasses off during it.
Oh, yeah.
I was an actor. I learned things. I learned stuff.
You got more definition in your face. I got something hide mine.
Denise is playing with her kit.
Yep. 1, 2.
Does it remind you of a pregnancy test?
3. No, because I just peed on that. This is more complicated. So the first thing I tested was this lovely cactus. So we got 15 minutes from now to see if the cactus has COVID. So
did I come in at the wrong time?
No.
You want me to go out and come in?
It's the cactus.
Because I don't want to walk in on people taking peas.
Nope,
if you walk out and come back in, you've got to do a much more flamboyant entrance. You got to like kick in the door and whisk the hair back.
Well, I'm straight, dog. I can only be so flamboyant.
You say that we can be pretty.
I mean, I could try to flick the hair, but the hairspray won't let that happen. I mean, I'll put an eye in it.
For somebody that's pretty straight, the hairspray holding things in place makes me question things a little bit. Dogsy, just for you. There you go.
Pop a button.
Or 2. There you go.
Yeah.
Denise hates it.
Denise doesn't care.
No, Jules hates it.
Yes.
Jules hates
it.
Yeah, they hate your hair. I don't care. I don't have to sleep with you.
Valid point.
At least not today.
Good boy.
So
there's a chance. Run.
Eventually, maybe. Everybody gets a chance. Maybe my name is Pam Anderson and I didn't know it.
I don't know if I would risk touching that one.
No.
Oof.
No.
You could hug that and catch something.
Yeah, there's always a chance of something around there.
So, Frank, what have you been doing in the paranormal lately?
Oh, I'm different from everybody else in the paranormal field. I don't ghost hunt. And I tell people I don't because I have enough problems. Thank you very much. I only write about my own and speak about my own experiences. And of course, I've published a book relating to this. And I speak all over the country on these topics. As a matter of fact, I have on my calendar right now 12 dates thus far in this year. More are going to be added. I have 2 dates in the month of March. One more was just added for Las Vegas in April. And I speak to people about my experiences, but I also show people the other experiences other people have gone through, what other folks have gone through in terms of paranormal. And I look at the characteristics all of these entities seem to have in common with each other across the entire spectrum. And this includes the alien UFOs. And I draw conclusions based on this, because if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
That's true. That's very true.
When in April are you going to be in Vegas? We might have
25th through the 27th. It's called Fanboy Expo. Everybody should come out because I'm doing the usual panel that I do across the country. It's all paranormal to me, but also Lee Majors is going to be there, the $6 million man. So for that reason alone, you all know he doesn't do a lot of live appearances.
You know what's bad is I'm going to be in Vegas the 10th, 11th, 12th with the kids.
Well, no, that's not bad. Michael Jackson was bad. Said so right there on the album cover.
So
Weird Al Yankovic was even worse.
Oh, wow,
Holly Paranormal is getting tested now.
Oh, paranormal.
But I'm not picky. I do whatever kind of live event will book me. You'd be amazed how many people interested in what we talk about you find at Comic-Cons. It is a cross-section of humanity, because God knows, no matter who you are, they have kids, and their kids drag their parents to Comic-Cons.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. They do.
And then they meet somebody like me dressed up, and they're like, what the hell is wrong with you?
What the what?
And what in the hell is that?
It's fun.
It's Bigfoot.
That's true, but I don't go dressed as Bigfoot.
Yeah, now
You could.
we are 10 days away from the next event. Dave Spinks, who we all know and is well respected in our industry, has an event coming up in Richwood, West Virginia called MonsterCon. And as you all may already know, Dave has a curiosity shop in Richwood dedicated to the paranormal called the World of Weird. I have a display set up there along with Lyle Blackburn, a whole bunch of other people, and everybody should go see this place. But more importantly, on March 11th, I'm the lead speaker. I open up the show in Richwood, West Virginia. So if anybody's within range, please come on out and see this show.
Well, and Dave is actually a guest of mine on here in about 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything in Texas?
I am trying to get myself booked into a show in Texarkana called the Folk Monster Festival, which I have no hopes of, so I'll probably try something else. But I want to get dates in Texas anyways, because I have a Spanish version of my book out, which I designed for the Latina market. And I wanted to work South Texas and maybe go into Mexico because the Latina market is a big market for the paranormal.
El Paso, Houston.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
Now, I used to work
Houston.
outside of Houston when I worked in demolition, very close to Galveston.
So can I ask what kind of demo things you got to use? Please tell me.
Say again?
What kind of demolition did you do?
Well, my forte was steel deconstruction.
Wow.
I take down. I would deconstruct steel erected objects, such as towers, bridges, things like that.
You did the opposite of my job. You did the exact polar opposite of the job I used. I put them up, you pull them down.
Pretty much, yeah. It's a lot of gut work, and then of course they hire some specialized company out of Oklahoma City to show up. We spend about 3 days helping them pack and wrap the explosives around all the pylons and the key structural points of a building. They show up, they invite the media, somebody pushes a button, it drops, they get on the plane, go home. And then we go in and clear out the site. That's how the process goes.
I'd love to be able to play with explosives.
No.
Well, maybe later, get you that for your birthday.
My birthday's Sunday.
Well, there's FedEx.
We'll overnight a package to you. If it's ticking, don't worry.
He's never watched the Second Amendment Ranch show yet. Cameron with explosives, along with his
Tannerite and trebuchets.
Yeah, his arsenal
Listen,
got lost on the boat.
For the past month, I've been watching examples of our own military screwing up our hardware right and left, not able to land a frickin' jet on the deck of an aircraft carrier and goes into the ocean. And both us and China are still looking for it, by the way. I've seen them mess up. Could he do any worse?
No, that'd be really hard for me to do worse than that. But you know why we're having these problems right now? Because they mandated that vaccination, and everybody that could actually do the job is like,
can't go. We didn't get vaccinated.
Bye.
Yeah.
Your fault.
Well, we just shipped a whole bunch of troops over to Poland to bolster our Eastern Front. And I think it occurred to them, damn, son, you just sent about like 500,000 of them home on COVID. What are you going to do? They're probably calling. Did you all know that right as this all was going down, we had about 1,800 U.S. Army reservists working in the Ukraine as special advisors to the Ukrainians.
Mm-hmm.
We got them out right before the invasion took place.
Right.
We got them out, and then the veterans went in. Special teams, by the way, these are retired SEALs, SWIC, airborne, paratroop. We're talking Big Billy Badass went into Ukraine and started training the Ukrainians. There's a Texas veteran over there right now with the good old Fu Manchu going on, ready to stack bodies. We couldn't put our own military in, but they're sending veterans left and right.
Good.
Well, there's a reason why we're not going to do that.
I know, but I've been really Navy veteran myself, and I've really been tempted.
What we're watching taking place in the Ukraine is our design. We made this happen. This would not be happening if this country kept its nose out of other nations' businesses.
I agree. We
Totally agree.
we've played Big Brother for too long with every other country. We've let our own country go to hell, and we're trying to take care of everybody. It's like, no, focus on in-house first. Take care of the 50,000 veterans. Take care of the millions of people on the streets. You've got California looking like a trailer park right now. Hollywood is fleeing to Georgia. You've got California that's fleeing to Colorado, Texas, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee. Like,
they don't want him in Tennessee.
Fix your own.
As you all know, I just got back from LA about a week and a half ago. I appeared on a religious broadcast network called OCN, which is a really good experience. And, you know, you cannot go out to LA and not see the homeless problem. It's everywhere you look. Mm-hmm. And it's actually a danger. But, you know, if I may, when last time I was out in Las Vegas in December, I saw the same thing. Yeah. And to me, quite honestly, Las Vegas, when you get away from the glitz and the light and the shows, honestly, it's to me just like Los Angeles, because the homeless problem there is just as bad.
Oh, it is. I mean, I've had people beg me for money walking around the street. Some guy saying, kick me in my junk for $20. I'm like, sorry.
Wait a minute. You could pay to get that done? Darn, I was getting it for free.
You see, Luke, I don't see you going to jail because the Ukrainian prime minister is inviting people over.
I'm randomly testing things for COVID.
You're kidding. That's what you're doing for the show.
I mean, there's some beautiful Ukrainian women alone. That's temptation enough for me to go.
Focus.
Yes, you got a special guest tonight.
I know.
And you're wasting your time.
We're doing all of it. So this is in the background. So.
Right. But the Ukrainian thing is our making. We had a big hand in it. You can thank the unmentionable Barack Hussein Obama, and his vice president's name escapes me at the moment. It'll come to me here in a bit. But, you know, they're the ones who had a big hand in making this whole thing happen. Our FBI and our CIA had a hand in this. So
they've got a hand in everything. And Canada is just a trial period for what they're planning on doing to us. But Luke, you don't go to the Ukraine and then go back to UK. You go to the Ukraine and then you come to Texas.
He's supposed to be coming to Texas anyway here in 2 weeks.
Exactly. I've got a week vacation.
He said the 15th.
9 days after my birthday. We can still celebrate.
Oh, yeah.
We can still party.
You did all four?
I did all four, yeah.
Yeah, you got 2 minutes on that first one.
Yep.
So, yeah, Frank, you'll find out this show goes in all different directions.
It's my fault.
Leave me and I shall follow.
So, Frank, your book, The Aberdeen Wild Man, can you give Cameron a synopsis of that?
The Aberdeen Wild Man is a humanoid creature I encountered on the shores of the Chesapeake Bay where I grew up at, not far from Denise over there. Yeah, there you go. It's a Brady Bunch thing. Denise over there. Hi, Denise. Oh, no. Yeah. Hi, Denise. Back in February of 1980. And what I saw that day, and it was the coldest day of the year, but what I saw that day appeared to me to be human, but quickly found out that it could not have been human. I actually sensed the presence of the thing before I saw it. And though it looked human, I realized quite quickly it could not be human. I watched it do things humans cannot do. And the basis of the book centers around this creature, because as I said, it had a strong spiritual presence to it, but I watched it do physical things, superhuman things. And in the book, I'm taking other aspects of paranormal encounters I've had, the characteristics of those beings, the characteristics of creatures and beings other people have encountered in the paranormal and the alien UFO realm, and I'm matching them all together, looking for commonalities, and I'm drawing conclusions based on this. And as I drew in the book, if they are not of the same likeness, they are definitely from a common source.
See, I'm
sorry.
I'm fine with ghosts and everything. Well, you start getting into the skinwalkers and those kinds of creatures that really don't care and are going to come after you and eat. That's why it's so, like, white people in horror movies blow my mind. There was a scary sound in the attic. Let's go check it out. No, I'm gonna sit at the front of the attic door with something that's gonna go boom in 5 minutes. I'm not going up there. I don't, like, I understand the curiosity aspect of it, but at the same point in time, and again, for the skeptic in me, if these things exist and they are superhuman have superhuman abilities, there's not many things that I have that are going to be able to make that thing go, ow.
Right.
So I'm going to leave that one to you, Frank. Unless you want some extra security and can afford a $15,000 firearm, because I'm not going looking for those things with anything less than 50 BMG.
Yeah, the people in the paranormal shows are really common sense is not really a denominator, is it?
No.
No.
But I'm sorry. Every time you turn my mind into thinking what the stupidest thing in the world is. No, there's no one in the paranormal realm stupider than those in the Superman franchise. And may I demonstrate?
Yes.
Clark Kent, Superman.
Nope.
Clark Kent,
They explain
Superman,
that.
Clark Kent, Superman, and nobody ever figures that out.
I can explain that. I can explain that. So Superman, through the comics, actually had his glasses made from kryptonite. So because it was such a finite amount of material, it didn't change his powers. It just changed his appearance. So the comics themselves actually explain why people are that retarded about Superman. Because I had the same question.
This should have been an episode of The Big Bang Theory. I could see them going a whole episode on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Now, and I make this clear when I speak to groups. When you're watching, it's because so many people who come in to listen to me speak and Denise speak and everybody else, these are people watching all of these ghost hunting shows. They may have had experiences themselves. Somebody I recently bought a truck from in the next county was so obsessed with the paranormal, he didn't care what the costs were. He just wanted to get into a haunted house and have these experiences. And
I had somebody contact me about that lives in our neighborhood.
Yeah, dig it. And I try to tell them that, having been on both sides of the camera, if you're seeing it on TV, it was made for entertainment. It was not made to educate. You cannot get your education from TV. And if you're going into ghost hunting based on what you see on TV, you are going to be in for a world of hurt.
Again, it's just kind of like that Paratainment show when Cameron's favorite lady came in to treat me like crap because I had an opinion, but Ron, Cameron, and Carl had an opinion too, but she decided to go off on me.
Oh, she went off on me a couple times, and I'm fine with it. I'll stir the pot a little bit, but when you go attack somebody else on this show, no.
They did a 2-hour show on this woman.
I did.
Oh yeah, we did.
This is his show. I have to behave mostly on this one, so I made a very special case to bring her over to mine.
Oh, behave.
No.
No, Cameron does that. If we get the bots over here in the chat room, Cameron's like an elephant. He don't forget.
I write it down. I have a terrible memory, but I'll write that shit down.
You missed the one on Vincent's show the other night.
I'll see you later.
Wait for JT Martino come in.
Barbara, it was probably a month ago.
Yeah, it had to be
more or even more. And it was before I had my show on the Paratainment, and I had Frank on there, right? Weren't you on there for Paratainment, Frank?
Yes, no. I was, and it was a hoot. It was a hooty hoot.
Frank, David, and Linda Carino. And since Linda Carino's on TV currently for the Paranormal, I figured, why not? And she likes me. So figured that would work out for all of us. But yeah, that turned out to be a good show. I got a lot of feedback on the panel show.
That's good.
I've been getting people telling me that they like them because they get multiple perspectives as opposed to just one. And but I have noticed though that people tend to have the same opinion though.
Right.
But I am having a Bigfoot show here in a few weeks, so that's going to be interesting. Bigfoot Factor Fiction.
Fiction.
I know you're not involved, Cameron. I actually.
Jesse's gonna go out of her way. Look, I got a guy over here. If you haven't seen it, I have a photo of my mom holding. I had custom boots made. She held up my foot measurement. Yeah,
Yeah, he could have been Bigfoot.
I have that photo. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah.
So
What's your test show?
negative. So
Aw,
my cactus does not have COVID.
damn.
Damn. We
So
thought the
Poly
prick would have
Paranormal's next.
Oh yeah.
So not ready for her yet.
Come on, clear up
Oh, I
for
hope
me.
she's not sick.
Damn, did she have to get extra large paper?
They did.
What did they get? 11 by 17?
It was 17 and a half inches long. The circumference was 12 inches. So yeah, you're pretty close.
Those are hard to fit in the printer. So
he had the sheet was something like a foot by 12 inches wide by like 24 inches long.
hello,
So did you
Steve?
get your boots made?
It's going to be a couple months, but they're working on them.
Oh, they had to go kill a few cows, huh?
Made in Russia.
Yes, they did.
They're not going to be snake?
No, so I went away from. I wanted something that was going to be a little more rugged and durable. I wanted something that was going to be able to last with low maintenance.
How about
My
gator?
Gator is actually a lot of maintenance.
Oh,
Because it's a very dry skin, you have to condition it regularly.
Right.
And that's what my dad was wanting. I wanted to look at like shark skin, but they said stay away from that stuff because that's one of those that does take a lot of maintenance as well. With what I'm wanting, if I wanted like a really good set of dress up boots, okay, I'll deal with it. And then I'll put them in a case that they're not going to have to be treated forever because they're going to go out once every now and again.
Right.
But I want something that I can regularly wear outside of work that are comfortable and I can go to bars, clubs, different things like that. And I went with Norse pagan design on the ankle area. So I'm curious to see what they do with that. I was very happy that they could do that. So yes, I'm getting Norse Viking cowboy boots.
so they don't know what in the hell they are.
Nope.
Okay.
They're like me.
Mishmash. Okay.
A culmination of everything.
So needless to say, Poly Paranormal does not have COVID. So anybody who wants to adopt Polly, let me know.
Hell no.
No. Well, I think you ought to send it to Cameron.
Oh, actually, I think what I want to do is send it to Charlie again.
Again?
So what I did is we went to Malvern Manor we had a big event there.
Is this anything like my Kirby experiences?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But we all had separate rooms. And so while everybody was investigating, they were actually on a tour. They were busy. And I stayed in the kitchen because I was making food for everybody. Because I always make chili cheese hot dogs for when we're there because there's nowhere to eat. So I had my excuse to stay in. Yes, Polly is apparently haunted, people say. So what I did is I put Polly in Charlie's backpack while he was roaming around. And when he went to go get something out of his backpack, he found her and he screamed and ran down the hall.
Yep, he did.
I think he was ready. He was ready to hurt me at that point.
He was ready to do something.
But Charlie was my daughter's roommate at one point. So needless to say, and he's also does a show now with David Glidden.
Right.
And his name is Charles Fort. And if you know anything about the 14, same name, not the right person. So
Okay, you're coming up.
Molly's been a lot of locations.
yeah,
with
she's
us.
been a lot of places with us. The Sally House, Malvern, some other random places that we've been. But
Yeah.
I just love the expression on her face.
Popped
I mean,
three
why
She's
would
like,
anybody have bought
You
this
took me
doll?
there again? Oh,
I mean, think about this.
Ain't
Why?
good.
This is the reason I found this doll at Goodwill. She is ugly. But again, my grandchildren carry her around, think that she's great. So, but yeah, I keep a doll around the house just for shits and grins. But so we're waiting on our next test is the Oreo.
Has Ron suggested using the doll for target practice?
I like
No.
that idea.
No, he suggested getting rid of it a few times.
Yeah, target practice is the right way to get rid of that thing.
That is true.
Well,
I'm thinking a shotgun, just blow the thing apart.
I have some
Frank, I've got some
dogs.
338 Lapua. We can really make it disappear.
I only see a large furry animal and a hand coming up. That's all I see.
This
is the pretty host.
This is the only show that dog comes on.
Right.
Yeah, he doesn't come on the Second Amendment Ranch. He doesn't come on Free Speech, Free Stupidity, but he has to be a part of the paranormal.
He
The
does.
question is it because he likes me?
I
that
think it's
the-
because
or is it
you.
anything
I
different?
think it's because you and Carl, and he knows he can get away with it on this one.
And he knows me. The dog knows me. So that's why he's looking.
He knows your voice.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, but he doesn't get on the other shows.
No,
No, Gunny don't.
So it makes you wonder. So
He
just
knows
wants
he's going to see something.
that, or because it's the middle of the
What?
week. He's so
Am I
used
showing
to me.
something?
He's so used to the week I come home and I'm sitting on the couch and he gets to come and get attention and everything. But Tuesdays he doesn't get that, so he has to get it now.
well, then he better get it while
Oh
he
my
can.
gosh, that's the real Frank, not the avatar. How you doing?
Say hi to Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Steve Foster is one of my
We
listeners.
got Barbara.
Hello, Barbara.
Dogsy, that's
Luke.
Luke. And we had let's see, somebody named Bennett in there.
My name's Bennett because I ain't in it.
Where is
I've got another favorite, but I can't say it on this show.
where is it
It
at?
starts, my name's Buck, and I don't give a, and you can imagine the rest of that.
A suck?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Don Bennett. Any relation, Frank?
Okay, no.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, they just
big
started
no.
cooking dinner. And,
Listen, the past 6 years, I've met thousands upon thousands of people, and at some shows, I have complete conversations with folks, and I tell them the whole story, and we go back and forth. I sit down, and I said, "Hey, he's a pretty interesting person." And Teresa, my wife, says, "Yeah, don't you remember? He was at the show 3 years ago. You guys had the exact same conversation."
see, you need to listen to her because she's your ground.
Teresa is surprising. She notices things I don't pick up immediately. So she has taught me to stop and pay attention because I move very fast in the way I go.
It's where we're
I'm
from.
like a locomotive. I just plow. But Teresa teaches me to stop and pay attention to some things from time to time. And sometimes she comes up with stuff I wouldn't think of. Very grounded.
Like I said, I love Teresa. She's always, no matter how she feels, she's always bright and cheery. To me, anyway. She may not be to you, but she is to me. So, hello, Donna.
Go on, let me
So, but is she going anywhere with you on any of your visits to these other Paracons?
Okay, now dig this. No matter how much you learn about this business, it's inbred in the human spirit to have heebie-jeebies. The reason why you have the skin crawl and all that BS is not a matter of chemistry. It's a matter of your spirit. And people do not have a concept of their own spirit. Teresa, no matter how much she understands about this, how many programs she watches, still has heebie-jeebies. She thinks that if she goes to a paranormal or a crypto show with me, that she's going to come back with heebie-jeebies or an attachment. Which is errant, but if people let people believe what they want, you see. So I'm hoping she can come with me to Richwood. I want to take her to Vegas. She's never seen Vegas.
Hey,
So
they
she
just did
can
away
like
with their
Grease
mask
and be
mandate.
sorely disappointed.
Yeah, well, they just did do away with their mask mandate. They're getting ready to tear down the Mirage, so the Fire and Water show. This may be your last time to see it.
This event's being held at the Flamingo.
Oh,
Ooh.
right next door to Donnie Osmond.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I may have to move.
Yeah, Donnie's down at Harrah's, just a little bit down. But you go down a little further, you got your White Castle.
What he's dead.
Donnie Osmond?
Yeah.
No.
Nah.
We're not that lucky.
Hey,
No.
I'm stalking him. I've been stalking him since I was 14 years old. And every time I'm in Vegas, he's in Hawaii or Utah.
Yeah, let me talk entertainment for a second. When you bring up people like him, because I respect people who take care of themselves and manage themselves well. Okay, Donny Osmond, no matter what you think of him, look at his career. He's really quite amazing, and he, after being completely wiped out as a '70s joke in the early '80s, he came back in the mid to late '80s with a #1 hit record, and since then he's been playing Vegas, sometimes with or without his sister. And to this day, he's a major icon. So, love him or hate him, the man has a career you would envy.
Oh yeah, and he has family. Every vacation he does it with his family.
Yeah, you don't see him in the headlines for anything debauched or anything like that. And he's a man who manages his life well.
Good family.
You want to hear something funny? He follows me. Him and his granddaughter follow me on Instagram. I was like, really? Why? I don't post anything on Instagram. So I was like,
what's a Donny Osmond?
Luke goes, what's a Donny Osmond?
Donnie and Marie used to have
that
a show.
That actually is a good question.
I'm hearing the theme of Jaws in the background.
So
as you're saying that, I'm hearing the theme from Jaws in the background as you say that.
Donny Osmond was a 14-year-old girl's crush back in the day.
That's a Donny Osmond.
Yeah, that's a Donny Osmond.
Thank you, Sandy.
That's
the Ozman.
Yeah. His sister was in the news a few times for stuff related to postpartum depression.
I thought it was weight.
So a few of those types of things, but
weight loss meals or whatever.
Let's see, where is it?
Plus, not only that, Donny Osmond was part of the Osmond singing group.
Yeah, he was the second youngest brother.
Yeah.
The third youngest child.
He was like a Michael Jackson in the Jackson 5.
Yeah. He's actually, they were both popular at the same time. My dad said, you can have a crush on Michael Jackson or on Donny Osmond, but you can't have a crush on Michael Jackson. That's what my dad said. So
the Jacksons of Mormons.
Now, are we talking 70s Michael Jackson or 80s Michael Jackson?
Well, this would have been the 70s Michael Jackson because
let me tell you something. When I was in the dance clubs, his Off the Wall album just littered the place, and we all loved it. So, I appreciated Michael Jackson when he was still normal.
Oh yeah,
before he wanted to look like Diana Ross.
Yeah, which I never understood his early '80s comeback. Because quite honestly, he was a bigger star, in my opinion, before all that. I didn't understand his resurrection.
Well, Jermaine used to be the lead singer until Michael.
Right.
And he was jealous as hell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Off the Wall album, that one rocked. That was a great album.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Michael Jackson. I thought he was a great singer, a wonderful entertainer. And same as Donny Osmond. Entertainer. That's what he does.
What kind of music you listen to, Cameron?
Quite a bit.
Megadeth.
Santana, Creed, AC/DC, Leonard Skinner, country, Southern Rock. Not much rap. Not a fan of rap. Not a fan of this pop crap we have nowadays. Basically, anything after the '90s is turned into garbage. There's a couple bands that are like here and there that are more modern, but they went after a kind of a more traditional rock. I guess you would say metal feel to them. Y'all view rock as like Leonard Skinner. I view rock as Metallica, and there were people Metallica's metal. Not really. They weren't that hard.
Enter the Sandman would have made a great Supernatural episode.
Heavy metal.
So Waylon Jennings was good.
What do you think about his son?
I haven't heard much
Shooter.
Shooter Jennings, yeah.
Haven't heard about him.
He's trying. We'll put it that way.
How about Hank the Third?
All right.
I never even heard of Hank the Third.
He's got his voice like his grandpa.
Really don't want to.
He's got a voice like his grandpa.
Yeah, it's more like So
and it's
It's more country rap. Is how I see it. It's crap.
It is.
Oh.
Yeah.
The other one?
Yeah. I don't care for it. So see, that was my favorite from Metallica. I got that right. So Barbara asked if Frank, if you were ever had any attachments from spirits.
Good question, because how do you know? That's one of the points I make in the book. How do you know you have an attachment?
I think she meant by going to those shows.
Oh, by going to the shows, there's no way to tell. Yeah. But I can tell you this much: this one is discernible to me because I brought this up in the last show. The Erie Super Paracon, which took place many years ago. My table is next to some lady selling the little gems and the little stones.
Oh, you mean all the shiny stuff that you hate?
Yeah, I was a Bible teacher. She didn't like it because she felt the Bible objectified women. And she gave me a little gift as we were all wrapping up the show at the end of a very horrific weekend. It was a little black stone. She said, it's a gift. It'll bring you luck. And when I got back to Delaware, I had nothing but horrific dreams the entire week. So I took that little sucker, put it in the slingshot, went out on my dock because we were poor, and launched that sucker across Chesapeake Bay, and all the bad dreams stopped. So, dreams, attachments do happen at shows.
That's because that woman was a bitch.
Yeah.
You would have got one.
Watch.
If you'd have come to that paranormal conference, Carl went to it.
The one on Truist?
Yeah.
You would have got some stuff from there.
Which one?
The one the year after Sugar Creek.
Oh, yeah, the one down there at the Masonic Lodge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just had a bad vibe in their place.
It did. It had a bad vibe.
Especially when the heavy metal band, or I don't know what they were, showed up.
Yeah.
Like the air disappeared.
They were dark.
Luke, old school Dolly was all right, but now she is a Barbie. She's got more plastic and just garbage in her body than an actual Barbie doll.
That's exactly right. But let me tell you something I respect about Dolly Parton. She's different from Elvis because Elvis did not write music. Dolly writes music. So
that's true.
Unlike Elvis, who complained in 69 and 70 that, finding good songs anymore is the reason why his career was kind of slumped, Dolly could always make her own music over and over again.
I agree with you there.
She's a great businesswoman. And she gives back to the community down there in Sevierville.
Exactly.
I lost a little bit of respect. Originally, Dolly Parton had said, and she's real great at hiding herself in public. She's phenomenal at that. Nobody actually recognizes her when she goes out. But she originally stated that I will not talk about my political side. I'm here to entertain. That's what I'm here to do. And then
smart
2-3 years ago, that completely went out the window, and she started. Don't get me wrong. There are some actors that I can still kind of enjoy, but a lot of you have one job, and it's to entertain us. And you're using your platforms to preach about your political agendas, your views, and everything like that. Well, not everybody has that capability, and that's not your job. Your job is football players. Take Colin Kaepernick taking a knee. You get paid millions of dollars to play a sport. Shut up and throw the ball. It's not hard.
No,
if I got paid millions of dollars, I'm here I don't care. But a lot of sports have gotten away from fining them and firing them and punishing people that are against the national anthem. And I'm just like, well.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore.
I'm not watching
the NFL basically knew it hurt their business. Watching their ratings went to crap.
I'll still watch hockey because there have been a lot of coaches that have said if you decide to take a knee, you will not play the rest of this season.
Yep, hockey won't put up with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
hockey, you'll get the crap hockey, you'll get the crap kicked out of you
at least.
And Steve Foster
could care less about NBA.
Every third song, by the third song, we got Def Leppard playing in our car. Every time. It makes no difference where I'm going. Def Leppard, every third song. And we have Sirius XM, so it doesn't even matter which station. Except for Liquid Metal. It doesn't show up on there.
And he likes to talk how he's oppressed. Mm-hmm.
Who's oppressed?
Kaepernick.
Yeah, right.
I wish he was.
He's a little bitch.
He needs
he's oppressed, but he's still wealthy because even if he's not playing football, he's still making money from all these groups supporting him. Right. He's doing way better than you and me.
Right.
He's doing better than all of us combined.
Because there's a whole undercurrent of people you don't see in the limelight anymore who are making a lot of money on speaking appearances, like the Clintons and Obama and Kaepernick, of course. And Don Wells used to belong to a certain club that hires celebrities specifically to speak at their events for these things.
Mm-hmm.
I still like Shaquille O'Neal has a lot of respect for me because of what he does.
I love
I agree with you.
He goes out, he goes and buys
he's a
people
great
gifts
guy.
and delivers pizzas. He specifically made his shoe brand, being a huge actor, he made his shoe brand cheap and affordable so that way everybody could have a comfortable pair of shoes.
He became a deputy sheriff down in Florida.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That would be one hell of an arrest. I'm going to kick the crap out of your office. So shit.
Yeah, you see him climbing out of the car?
Unlike Steven Seagal, who's doing his deal over in Russia.
What's a Shaquille O'Neal?
You need to catch up on stuff, Luke. You need to figure this crap out.
Now, Shaq,
he's going to learn a lot here in 2 weeks.
This is recently. He found out somebody came to him and said a family, their van had broke down. I think it was a family of 12. Anyway, he went and met the family, bought him a 15-passenger Mercedes van, took him out to eat at where's that Lacey's at?
Huh?
Where's Lacey's at? The Rainforest.
Rainforest Cafe?
Yeah. Took them all, the whole family out to eat at the Rainforest Cafe.
I just want y'all to see how big a basketball is in his hands. This is a Shaquille O'Neal, by the way.
Yeah, it's the size of a
Oh, don't show him in the Lakers. Come on.
That's Shaq from Space Jam.
Show him in the Lakers uniform.
Yeah, that's Shaq from Space Jam.
You know what? Though,
but he tipped the waitress $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as the conversation ended and their dinner was about to end, he found out the father's truck was having some trouble, so he went and bought him a new Ford pickup.
Yeah.
Yay.
That just, he didn't promote this. He does this stuff all the time.
No, and he does it quietly.
Yeah, he does it quietly. The family's the one who went out and told everybody what he did.
It's not like all these people you see on YouTube and TikTok where they're filming, hey, let's go do this.
Yeah.
The Bible, and I'm sure Frank will appreciate this, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. So if you're giving to somebody, it should be out of the kindness of your own heart, not for attention. He does this regularly.
All the time.
There's another football player, and I wish I could remember his name. As soon as his first season was done, he had enough money, bought a huge farm. I want to say it's at least 50 acres, and buys or farms the produce and gives it back to the community free of charge.
Yep.
Charges. He takes it all into town and donates it to whoever wants it. And nobody reported. The mainstream media is not reporting on Shaquille O'Neal or this other. Nobody wants to cover this thing.
No.
They're using their money and their wealth and their popularity and their fame in a manner that is benefiting everybody, not just themselves.
They'll report if he shovels the money towards a social cause that's
right
by the media.
Oh yeah,
right.
Oh, you supported Black Lives Matter. We'll cover that. We'll show you.
Actually, if you've noticed, Black Lives Matter has kind of fallen off of the liking list since one of their leaders just went to jail.
Another one.
Right.
I still love the fact that an Australian man was able to scam Black Lives Matter out of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, that wasn't me.
Hey, you can't fix stupid.
No, but that dude's sitting fat, dumb, and happy in the middle of Australia right now.
He is. But Shaq does a lot of that from the way he grew up and was
right. Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a great guy.
Oh,
he
does
that all the time.
And I can't think of him ever talking about his political aspects.
No.
He's not like, and even when some of the NF or the.
But he's a conservative because liberals wouldn't do the stuff he does.
No, but I love listening to Johnny
Liberals
Cash.
are very good with other people's money. I don't know if you noticed that.
If you
really, really good.
Magic Johnson has been isn't it Magic Johnson that's been saying some stuff that's against the mainstream media, and they've been trying to shut him down? Who was that?
I don't know.
It was one of the commentators, and for some reason I think it's Magic Johnson, but
he's not a commentator.
That's one man that'll always have a special.
You talking about Charles Barkley?
Yeah, Charles.
Oh,
Barkley.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Barkley.
Yeah, he's another good guy.
Yeah.
He's funny.
He is.
Yeah.
He's great.
One of
He
Johnny
says
Cash,
what's on his mind. That's why I like. Yeah, I do. the
Yeah,
same
he ain't
thing.
afraid
I
to
don't-
talk.
no,
Yeah,
one
I'm
of my
not
favorite
afraid.
quotes
I'm
from
not afraid of
Johnny
crap.
Cash was, "I'm proud of this country and I'm proud of your freedoms and rights.
Yeah.
And you have a right to burn this flag. But I'll tell you right now, you burn my flag, we also have the Second Amendment.
That's right.
I'm gonna shoot you."
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Don't have many people like that in the media anymore.
No. And
Well, I don't know if you know, a couple days ago, Russia did take out some stuff, took out the internet over in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday morning, Elon Musk rolled out of bed and said, they don't have internet? Oh,
Hold my beer.
let's move some of my satellites so they can have it.
And block
Please.
the Russians from being able to access it. You have Anonymous that's
Oh,
blocking.
that was funny.
Anonymous is going after the Russians, hacking everything they've got. They've taken over their TV shows, and all it shows is the Ukrainian national anthem at this point in time.
Oh, wow.
good.
Oh, yeah.
What I think is horrible.
Oh, it gets better. Pornhub's blocking Russian accounts.
Well, that's the end of the country. I mean, if you can't get Russian porn, they'll just shut down the darn country.
No, screw-
Well, they're
you
gonna
got
need
the
to
Taliban going after Russia. You know how big of a dick you have to be to have the Taliban going, hey, man, you need to calm down. Like, everybody's going
There
after
goes
Russia.
the morale of the Russian army.
And Putin's like, I'm going to crash the ISS into the country. I'm going to bomb everybody. Putin is basically going for world destruction.
He's not going to get it.
No.
Did you?
Yeah,
he's
hear-
gonna-
No.
Did you?
He's
hear-
gonna reclaim Ukraine, and he's gonna stop for a while. That's what he's going to do.
Well, then somebody on the
You
inside
think
needs
he's
to put a
gonna get
bullet in his head.
Ukraine?
He may go after Moldova, but outside of that, he really just wants Ukraine. Because
That's because
you know,
of the
ask
pipeline.
yourself a question: why now? I mean, he'd been positioning his forces for 2 months. It's not like this is a big freaking surprise to anybody.
Right.
Why did he
Well,
decide
it is to
after
Joe.
8 years of civil war in Ukraine? Why did he decide to pull the trigger now, as opposed to a year ago or 2 years ago?
And what I'm seeing is a lot of the stuff with
Because
the
old
Biden
man
coming out.
Biden's in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. A
He
lot of
ain't
the
gonna do
information
nothing.
from the Bidens had come back up to light.
Well,
And-
also
They can pay him off
Biden
anyway.
had just
Sit
pulled
down.
all of our, the majority of our forces out of Afghanistan, out of eastern Poland.
Yeah.
We brought a lot of troops home, and Putin's sitting there going, "Well, there's about only 2 guys running the shop now. I guess I'll invade." Of course he did.
Yeah.
Hey, Jules.
You might as well only leave a couple guys guarding the DMZ too.
Yeah, true.
So yeah. Did you hear though that they're removing Russian vodka from the store?
Yeah, that'll stop them.
But the funny thing is Smirnoff's not even made in Russia.
Right. It's not.
I mean,
I know they caught a guy going there and just breaking the bottles all on the floor.
and it's like, yeah,
Like,
think about
I want
this.
people to think you've already spent the money on it. The money's already been spent.
There he goes.
Not wanting
Wow.
to buy anything new, that's fine and understandable. Like Nike, like Carhartt, when they started putting that crap out, that's understandable. To ban those kinds of companies here in America. But the money's already been sent if it's a Russian-made vodka. It does no good to just go in
Right.
and not like you're destroying an American company at this point in time.
That's right.
So you
Right.
want to do
about-
something.
how
Why
about
don't
we
you go-
quit buying Russian oil?
Ukraine
Hey,
actually set up
that's a good idea.
it's like GoFundMe, but it's different. It's a go something. But you can donate to Ukraine to buy javelins, tanks, jets. You can donate to buy a crap ton of stuff for Ukraine right now. Molotov cocktails was one of them. Landmines was another one. If you want to do something, you can donate directly to Ukraine so that way they can have more armament. That's doing something. You want to do something, go over to the country.
Hmm.
Water during our floods. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, but she had to pour the bottles of alcohol out to store the water.
Yeah, pour them.
I
Look
would
at
have poured
Luke's
it this way.
Oh, yeah.
Luke's made me laugh. So you
Luke
put that
did?
one up there so everybody can see that.
Okay.
Yes.
That is good.
You know what?
Only place
And
you'll
you know
see
what?
it.
Wherever they're making those big fat gold chains to go with those, they need to stop shipping those.
Yeah, let's. Unfortunately, that'll make them look like sane people at this point in time, but you never know.
So,
But you want to do something? Let's get a group together. I got 40 hours of vacation. Carl can get some time off. Let's go have a community-wide camping trip.
to where this time?
We're going to Ukraine because I'm with Luke over here. If we can get ourselves a tank because they're failing to refuel their machinery, all we got to do is take some diesel with us, and we've got a brand new tank. These guys are special ed, and I'm not trying to make fun of these kids.
Yeah,
Like I'm not making fun of
they're supposedly special ops, but they're special ed.
Yeah, these guys, they ran out of fuel on a warship. Got told go F yourselves by a Georgian transport vessel.
Yep.
How do you run out of fuel? Like you've pissed off the entire world, and you think that let's put the political agenda aside. We need help. Start rowing. I'm not going to help you.
Did you see the 1,000 Russians that surrendered to the Ukraine?
5,000 of the Russian soldiers also
for the love of God.
How many they sent? Or how many turned themselves in?
1,000. 1,000.
1,000 of them surrendered.
Wow.
They were hungry.
5,000 of them went AWOL.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going over to Russia to get me a brand new Akula class submarine.
Right.
Or a Typhoon.
Wise.
Jewel says Australia is sending arms to the Ukraine now.
I didn't know Australia had any.
Think about it for a second.
Yeah, they got all the guns because they took them away from the people.
That's right. That's right. They took them away from their citizens.
Put your military strategist hats on. Why? That's all coming in through Poland and Gdansk and all that. Why would Putin not move his forces to block eastern access to Ukraine? To block these shipments from coming in? Why would he not do that?
It doesn't make any sense.
From Western
That's right. It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
I think he's either he has a plan, which Putin, I have a tremendous amount of respect for him. Usually he's playing a better game than this. So I'm wondering if there's an alternative motive going on behind the scenes, which honestly is the largest possibility that I can see, or if he's playing games to test them and see what he really needs to send to just end it quickly. Because what he's doing doesn't make any bit of sense. And all of his troops that have been captured and confiscated are either straight out of ROTC or brand new, and they thought they were doing training exercises and drills and didn't actually understand that they were invading a country until they had been captured.
One thing
or something else, and you'll find an example of this in our own Civil War, is that he might be slow rolling this just to give the Ukrainians an opportunity to minimize casualties and force a surrender. Because he's got a lot of assets parked outside of the capital of Ukraine right now, and the other town, Lviv. He's got a lot of assets parked out there, just as Grant had his forces parked outside of Petersburg right before, going on to Richmond, and just basically sweating them out.
But he's also been breaking a lot of Geneva Convention codes. He's sent over special troops in Ukrainian uniforms, and they got two special force units got busted. They also had one that was going over dressed as a Ukrainian citizen that was trying to report on the happenstance, but they found information tracking equipment on him, so he's violating the Geneva Convention 3 different times.
I believe he's doing the same thing we did in Iraq and Afghanistan. We weren't after the people, we were after the leaders. That's why we had the card deck of 50 leaders we had to go after. He's sending extra forces in there to hunt for just those people and get them out and leave the citizenry alone. Is what
like you was talking about, getting Ukraine to surrender. Why else would they be bombing all these apartment buildings
Russia
get
was
the
the
people
first
to go,
one
"Oh,
to
we're done
offer
with this."
negotiations and has been doing so every day since this started.
Mhm.
So it's I don't completely buy the news media narrative of this, because if you'll pay very close attention how they're talking about Putin right now, it is the exact same cadence, the exact same descriptions they used to describe Donald Trump during the Mueller investigation.
Right.
They're describing him the exact same way.
Yeah.
Being
Crazy.
isolated, nobody wants anything to
Yeah.
do with him. Even the dog won't play with him. That's
Which
why I
is
don't
why I
trust him.
think he's got alternative motives going on, because he honestly, and it pains me to say this, he might be trying, and Barbara brings up a very valid point. Ukraine does have a lot of corruption going on. I mean, look at Biden, Biden scandals left and right we've had coming out of that. What if his motive is to bring light to the deep state and all these people and they've caught these people saying, the elites, as they like to call themselves, admitting there is an elite group? What if he's trying to bring light to the elite, and that's why the mainstream media is bastardizing the hell out of him right now?
Yeah, you bring up a good point. I brought this up weeks ago on my Facebook, is that, Putin is sitting on a lot of secrets. And all these years we've been listening about how Hillary has conspired with Putin, Trump has conspired with Putin, and, everybody's a Putin proxy. Putin can come out at any time and tell everything he knows, but he doesn't, does he? Why?
Because it's to his best interest not to.
Right.
It's going to keep him alive longer. And I think that's why he's got to deal with Ukraine, because the odds of the
bombing of
insurgents or a really risky force would be coming through Ukraine.
Get this information.
Fudge cookies.
Keep safe stuff.
Yeah, Barbara, I agree with you. Yeah, let me pull that up for you. Because Putin had nothing but respect for Donald Trump. In fact, he threatened nuclear armament if Hillary Clinton had won.
Right.
So why would he be doing something like this if he honestly, it sounds like he's someone that supports America, even though Russia and America haven't always been.
I don't know where you heard that, Cameron. Putin would have been happy as crap if Hillary was in there. He can control her ass.
True.
Control Trump.
True.
This would have been, oh hell, what was that?
They got so much stuff on the Clintons that it's not even funny.
Right.
Yes, and why not spill it? He can end their political careers today, but he won't do it. Why? And it's because these people all have long-standing economic ties. And I have a feeling that economically, one domino can't go down without dragging the other dominoes with it.
Why do you think so many people accidentally end up dead? Why security cameras failed when what's his nuts was in a holding Epstein was in a holding cell, then his lawyer got killed, the judge's family was murdered. So there's a lot of that's not a coincidence going on. This person knowing this person knowing this person, they all have ties to this, just magically end up dead, hung in a cell. There was one case where it looked like he had been beaten with a hammer. I think they said something like 14 times. And that's the only time they would have seen that kind of trauma to somebody's head. And they said he had fell in his cell and broke his neck.
Right.
Oh,
well, the other side to that is, what if he was a moron?
You got to be really
and he actually did fall and bust his face. So
14 times.
Putin didn't go after Ukraine during Obama's reign.
He just took Crimea.
Yeah, just took Crimea, but
he took a beachhead.
Yeah, beachhead. That's what he wanted.
Right, but
then
he still had control of the Ukrainian government back then because they were corrupt.
Yeah,
I still don't know how Hillary Clinton is.
Then Zelensky came along and he can't control him.
Hillary Clinton got caught stealing from the White House, which is a felony offense for anybody else.
Right.
And she's still in politics.
Right.
Mm-hmm. She shouldn't be. She should be dead.
There's an economical undercurrent globally we can't see, and the media keeps us from seeing it. That all of these people are tied into, and like I said, if one goes down, will likely drag the others down with it, which is why they maintain this silence, this protection.
At that point in time, it's blood eagles for everybody. I'm sorry. I have too much respect and care for my country. If you want to play these games, the Constitution, the one crime that they have said is punishable by death is tyranny. It's the one that got called out. So if you want to play these games and try and destroy a country that is built on these faiths, beliefs, and amendments and respect for our other countrymen, and you want to try and destroy it and control everything and consider yourself elites, you'll be treated with very special care. I promise.
Hey, by the way, in other news, you can label this under people should go away and stay away. The Reverend Pat Robertson, who's 91, came out of retirement to go on TV to say that Putin is following God's wishes by invading Ukraine, and it heralds the end times battle in Israel.
I'm waiting for the Trump.
You mean the Antichrist coming from the Middle East thing in Revelations?
Yeah, okay, dig this. 20 years ago, Pat Robertson was on TV explaining to people why Bible prophecy, which, by the way, I teach, is bunk. He was explaining in detail why there's no sense to it, even though it's in his own Bible. 10 years ago, he had a change of mind. He started developing a teaching series to educate people on Bible prophecy and why it's right. So, you can follow him. Yeah. And here he is today. Every major boo-boo in the world today is the end times battle and Bible prophecy. And it's one of the most frustrating things I, as a Bible teacher, have to deal with, because people do ask me about this stuff.
Right.
Boy, I need him to come up to the restaurant up here in Gallatin.
Pat Robertson?
No, you.
Oh, me. Okay.
I was just thinking.
The Mormons up here believe Christ is going to come at Omni. Adam Omni.
Who we know affectionately as the morons.
Exactly. Exactly.
I think what we're seeing right now is going to be the results of the end of time. I'm just waiting for Christianity, the trumpets to sound, for Norse pagans, the horn of Gallahorn, and I respect your. I don't force my beliefs on anybody. I don't expect anybody. Your beliefs are your beliefs. Don't force them down my throat. I won't force mine down yours. But from what I have seen, and I have a very weird take on religion. But on some of the beliefs that I've followed, we have already seen a large culmination of entities and signs showing that the end is near.
And which is why for the past couple of years, I've been telling people that this whole thing with COVID-19 is one sign you will find in Scripture. Because in order for it to be Bible prophecy, it must be that the entire world can see the sign all at once. And of course, COVID-19 was a global pestilence that everybody could see and experience at the same time.
Horsemen of the apocalypse. For us, it was we saw, the Northern Lights, right? We saw a wolf in the Northern Lights, which would be Fenrir, which is projected to be the wolf that eats the sun, the moon, and eventually Odin. And funny that you bring it up that the Bible says no man will know the day or the hour. That's a fact. Nobody will know the hour, but there is a lot of examples of signs and telltales that are coming, and pestilence was one of them.
Well, that's the second book of Thessalonians, and he's talking about the rapture. Now, the rapture is different from everything else because the rapture can take place at the end of this broadcast. This is what I said on TV last week in LA. It could happen at the end of this broadcast. No sign needs to be fulfilled before the rapture takes place. However, in terms of the Battle of Armageddon, which is not one battle, it's a series of 3 battles, all of which involve. I'm sorry?
Isn't it 7 years long?
No, that is the tribulation hour. There's a separate the tribulation hour actually begins when the rapture takes place, and then you start counting 7 years. That's assigned to all believers and non-believers on the planet. However, the Battle of Armageddon is actually 3 battles, all involving the king of the north, Russia, and the king of the south, which is known to be Egypt. And it involves Israel. And there's a whole bunch of other things that have to be in place first before we can get to that point, and they're just not there yet.
Right.
Now, the rapture, like I said, is different. That could happen at the end of this sentence.
Right.
And people like me, bam, just won't be here anymore.
No. I plan on going to the place where we get to fight all the time and drink and eat lots of food. But
Who says you can't do that? in heaven?
What did the Klingons call that?
We could do that now.
we call it Valhalla, but the only way to get there is you have to die in a battle that is greater than oneself.
We are currently in a battle that's greater than oneself. We're currently fighting for our freedom.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I agree. And some people look at this as a bad thing. There's a lot of us like me that are like, ha, 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 ha. Yes, because we still have to wait for you have to be chosen for Valhalla. Normally you would go to, it's going to evade me when I need it. Normally you don't, Valhalla is like the place of all places for Norse paganism. Think of it that way. But there are other realms to be with it. Now, if you just die, you lived a normal life, you go to hell, Hel. I can't remember the actual name, but you're meeting the entity Hell, which is a woman with two faces, and it's not like torment.
This is Norse
punishment.
This is in the Norse mythology, right?
Yes.
I used to know the name of that.
I want to say it was I want to say it was Helheim. But if you just lived an average life, you go down there and Hell would take Hel would take care of
I got a friend in Fayetteville, North Carolina, who I call her my Viking queen. She knows this stuff all up and down.
I would love to meet her because I've got a couple books, but I'd like to. I learn better with conversation. Books bore me.
What's wrong, Irene?
Kura? Is that it?
No.
Okay.
No. But
you're feeling better, Irene.
Yeah, and you don't have to wear your mask while you're listening to us.
And again, with
No.
One A2 Abrams and recreational A10 Warthog. That'd do it.
That's Luke.
That's what I want to fly.
God, that sound. I couldn't fly about that sound, man. Just you know they fire a round bigger than this can.
Yep.
And it's like 60 a second.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Those things are nasty.
They literally built a plane around the gun. If you don't know about the A-10 Warthog, the gun was one, too big for any other vessel, and two, it was too.
Thank you, Steve.
Put that one up.
Thank
Good
you,
one, Steve.
Yeah.
Oh,
but the
we'll
original,
do this.
the original plane was too fast for the rounds themselves, so they had to build something faster. The bird of A-10 Warthog lowers stress levels by 70%.
So,
that's good.
Hey, Carl, you were talking about bringing.
I knew
Frank
those.
Up there.
Those planes, those A-10s landed on our base, which was rare. Man,
I'd have been drooling. I'd have been all over that thing, drooling on it.
I just sent a message to Ashley in North Carolina asking who the Viking Queen of Hell is.
Hell.
So.
Hel. That's her name. Oh, you're talking about the
that.
So what I was saying was we need to have Frank on with April.
Oh yeah.
April knows the rapture. She knows the end times. She knows all that stuff.
That's true. It does slow it down. Shoot.
Yeah.
And April's my cousin, if you didn't know. Frank.
We talked to A-10 pilot one day. He had a lot of good stuff.
Something real quick to understand about Bible prophecy: it's not predicting the future, as Pat Robertson loves to do. And every little boo-boo the world has is something Bible prophecy. Sorry, not.
91.
Oh.
It's a plan, and it exists all through Scripture, and certain people are privy to the plan. And over time, we dispel what the plan is and watch for the signs according to the plan. It's not complicated.
No, but it's hard for a lot of people to understand.
Steve's on fire tonight.
Fire!
Fire!
Yeah, that was the Pointer Sisters.
How did you?
That was written by Bruce Springsteen, by the way.
Oh, you're kidding.
That was a good singer.
Denise, how'd your Oreo go?
Who is?
They're all negative.
Are they?
So
you got
Bruce
the good batch.
Springsteen's a good singer.
I liked his work.
I don't like him.
His voice.
You mean Bruce Springsteen?
Yeah, I don't like him.
His voice is.
Bruce
horrible.
Springsteen is one of those people who I respect, but he's not a singer. He should have just hired somebody else to do his singing for him.
Yeah.
Same as Tom Petty. Can't sing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No voice.
Come on.
I know you like Tom Petty,
Yeah.
but no.
He can't sing.
He talks. He talks American Girl.
He talks sings.
So did Johnny Cash.
But Johnny Cash was cool.
He
Yeah.
had a
totally.
voice.
No, the Summer of '69 guy is Brian
Adams.
Brian Adams.
Adams.
Right.
Nice.
And he wasn't. He was 3 years old, so he wouldn't know anything
Which
about.
was because he was not 16 years old in 1969.
Yeah.
He was not. No. So.
Now,
Right.
Denise, you didn't get to tell Cameron that story about the guy that did the test and went back.
Yeah, my daughter shared a story with me that this guy actually tested his drink. It wasn't water, it was some kind of juice drink. And he tested it and it came back having COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So he took it back to the store. And it was like a pharmacy that he took it to and said, my drink tested positive for COVID. And they kept looking at him like he was nuts. And he's going, but it has COVID. I can't drink this. It has COVID. You're spreading COVID through these drinks. And needless to say, they told him to go home. So he told the cops that were standing guard at the store. Apparently it was Australia or New Zealand, someplace where they had an accent that sounded like Lacey's ex-husband. Lacey's ex-husband's from Australia. So not being anything other than that. He told the cops, and the cops told him that if he didn't go home, they were going to arrest him because he was trying to create a panic on these drinks having COVID. But that's why I was testing stuff to see if any of my things would come back positive for COVID that shouldn't be testing positive for COVID, because it's happening. People are testing stuff and finding out that one guy that works for Lacey tested positive for COVID, but he's been he's been wearing his mask because in Vegas you have to, and he's just taking the thing and rubbing it on his face and then giving it back to them. He's not shoving it up his nose like he's supposed to. He came back with COVID on one of the 3 tests that they did on this. Okay, so does he have COVID? Does he not? You can test positive for COVID if you have a cold, the flu, strep throat, any of these other things. I mean, there's like 50 other things that you can be positive for that is going to show that you have COVID.
Mm-hmm.
There's a problem with that. That means that they're trying to scare the living shit out of everybody by making everything COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And these damn tests that they sent out to everybody say made in China. Why are you going to show something off your nose that's made in China with stuff that causes brain cancer on these Q-tips? The stuff that's on there.
Let me guess, it came from
cancer.
Wuhan.
So, but no matter, there's going to be false positives all over the place. Thank God, apparently, nothing in my house is that damn dirty. That's the only thing I proved, is that my house is not dirty. The shit in my house doesn't have crap. And they can't tell the difference between a cold, the flu, strep.
No, they
salty
can't.
tears. It can't. It may not even be able to tell the difference between semen and spit.
Well, Slow-Mo Joe Blow Biden accidentally admitted 2 weeks ago in a press conference that our scientists today still don't understand COVID.
No, they don't. They don't.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of things they don't understand. And first of all,
a lot of things that man
the
doesn't
will of the
understand.
American people.
Right.
Oh. They're
They
going
don't.
to learn eventually.
Right. The bad part is what they're learning is that those of us that stood our ground were right to stand our ground. When people start dropping dead in about 5 years that got these
5
shots.
years. I give it 5 more months. We've already had bodies falling out.
We've already had a lot. But what about these people that didn't seem to have any problem up front, and they start developing stuff? One of the women here, she's fully vaccinated, ended up with COVID, and now she's on medication, 5 different medicines a day just to keep her alive.
Oh, that's going to kill her liver. Oh, that's going to kill
It's
that
not going
liver
to make a
and kidney
difference
so
because
quick.
she can't live without the medication. And now she's, so needless to say, before COVID, she wasn't in the greatest of health.
Who's that?
I can't say her name on here. But now she's got, a whole month's worth of medication that she has to take. It costs her like $400 a month just to stay alive. Aren't you glad I told you about black seed oil now? Might have saved your life.
Is it worth saving though?
You know what? This Chernobyl thing, that kind of bothers me too. Why in the hell did they take Chernobyl first?
They said it was a strategic location.
It might be strategic.
The only reason I can see
where it is, it's not what it is.
The only reason I can see being strategic there would still be leftover plutonium or uranium still at Chernobyl that they could have accessed.
Exactly.
To create
but they can't get to it that fast.
But the problem is Chernobyl was finally at a point where the dust had settled enough to where you could go to Chernobyl, and within a certain time frame you could go and tour certain areas.
But only for 30 minutes.
Those blasts had kicked up everything, which is funny. They also found a mildew in Chernobyl that eats radiation and a fungus as well, which was really cool. But that blast stirred everything back up. So all that time, scientists had predicted nuclear radiation was going to take 125 to 150 years, something like that, for it to finally settle out. And it was actually happening quicker than they had anticipated.
Right.
But now we've basically just reset the clock from what we had just had, because all that dust and radiation, you are not now with modern, with advances in modern medicine and hazmat suits and respirators and the different equipment we have nowadays compared to what Chernobyl actually happened.
Maybe we should send them all of our masks.
Yeah. They're going to be able to go and access it easier. But I'm still not going in there.
No.
Well, they say that because of the radiation so high, you can go in there, but for only like 30 minutes, and you have to wear a radiation suit. There's that problem, and if they can't even get close enough to the reactor still to get anything out of there. So, I mean, I've watched a bunch of documentaries on that. Do you know that there are people living out there, or we're living, raising animals, farming, all that on that land because they had nowhere else to go. They went back to their homes when
further out. I mean, it's not like
that was more on the outskirts.
But still, they got weird shit going on.
Chernobyl that you can go and visit for. I think the longest time frame you're actually going to go visit is 2 hours, but that is with a lot of restrictions.
Yeah, it is a tomb out there, that's for sure.
Right.
But do you remember when, I'm going to ask Frank this, do you remember when the 3 Mile Island happened?
Yep.
Back in 1979. We were in school. I was in school the day it happened. They locked us down.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. Well, because we were so close. They didn't know how far the radiation was going to go. And so
I was about 4 years old then.
Yeah, they were worried about it being in the wind.
Right.
Most of the winds came east.
Funny thing, when I went through school, elementary and middle school, we did this. We did tornado drills and we did nuclear bomb drills. And what it was is get under your desk, tuck your head down, and you'll survive. No, sweetheart. Stick your head between your knees and kiss your ass goodbye.
Yep.
If the blast itself, which another thing a lot of people don't understand, the game Fallout actually based their game off this fact. If you take your thumb and you look at a nuclear blast and your thumb can cover that blast, you're outside that zone. You're outside the radiation fallout. You are somewhat safe. You still need to get a little further. But if that blast is bigger than your thumb, you are in the area of radiation fallout, even if you're not in the shock wave or the heat wave itself that would completely obliterate you and turn the concrete a pretty color of your body.
Mm-hmm.
So that is actually something that is what they call accurate. Now, is it actually accurate? I'm not going to test it.
No, I'm not testing. But like I said,
the Biden administration came out the other day and said that in case of a nuclear attack, to wear your mask in your bomb shelter.
Yeah, because everybody's got a bomb shelter.
Right.
Right.
Bro, I live in South Texas. We
Most
don't
people
even have basements.
No, you can't have a basement.
You couldn't.
No.
You couldn't take his whole administration, add all their IQs to come up with an IQ of 2.
I would literally
They're the
have, if
bunch
there was
of
a
the
nuclear
biggest
blast.
idiots I've ever seen in my life.
I've got two
Every
options.
one of them.
Hop in
There's
truck.
not one with a partial brain cell.
I have two options. Get in truck, drive like hell. Best option I have. Second option, start digging and digging quickly.
But you got a problem there where you live. You start digging, it's going to fill up with water.
Oh, very much so. And that's not even one of the problems. Houston is one of the largest import areas. Houston, Galveston area is one of the largest import areas of fuel and gasoline, oils, everything like that. Houston, on the strategic bomb placement maps that they've shown, Houston itself, Galveston are two of the places that they would actively want to drop nuclear weapons. That's 2 bombs right in my backyard.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Then you add in Louisiana, that also has quite a few. Then you add in the fact that all the shit in the Gulf that's pumping oil now. So, and then like Barbara says, Florida too. There's a shit refineries there.
So option 1, get in truck, drive like hell. God, I'm happy I've got 4-wheel drive.
Drive west, drive to Mexico. They don't want anything there.
Well, basically, the only thing we got up here is Lake City Armory.
Oh, my plan is if shit really hits the fan, I'm going up to Missouri and me and Carl are finding a cave.
Well,
yeah,
you
we're
better
going to find it close to Lake City, too. That's where the armory's at, where they make all the ammunition.
So,
that's the first place I'm hitting.
I know where to go. Atchison. They got those giant tunnels underground there.
Yep.
They big enough to store huge campers that used to be owned by the Army.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not dumb. I know where to go. Or the caves in Kansas City. Go to R.D. Strong Distillery underground.
Right.
With the liquor.
Yeah. Not very good liquor, but
now they're finding an abandoned nuclear silo. The doors on those things alone were designed to withstand certain nuclear blasts.
There's not that many. There's a bunch of those out in Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
They're huge. You can put a whole city in one of them.
There's a bunch of them that are now Airbnbs.
Really? There are decommissioned ones you can buy.
Oh, yeah. I've seen. I looked. I know.
We already got one down
here. You can also buy
a
bunker and have it installed. There's some really nice bunkers with built-in gun ranges.
Well, one of the missile silos was down there north of Polo, where we investigated. Out there, a couple made it into a home. It's 8 stories underground.
It's a real thing, Denise. They actually do that.
No, I'm reading Luke's.
I know that is true.
Read Luke's. Oh.
The funny thing about them going through gas mask, Russian gas mask. Oh my God.
Yep.
If your loved one's been affected by mesothelioma.
Yeah.
The new commercial with the lawyer on it.
Hey, you want to know what I did? I
love Luke, man. The amount of random information, like this is he's the expert with the Russian stupidity going on right now.
So the other day, I decided I was going to work on my 401k. So I purchased some stock. I purchased Generac. You want to know why? I purchased Generac? Has nothing to do with hurricane season. No. It has to do with the fact that the Ukrainians and the Russians all need generators.
I put money into Lockheed Martin.
Well, you may not know this, but Martin Marietta, which is precursor to that, used to be right across the water from where I lived. So
yeah,
you remember Martin's, don't you, Frank?
And I invested in the Russian gas mask filter. So be quiet about that. Now you're going to ruin.
You mean Glenn Martin?
Yep.
Glenn Martin's where they developed the A-10s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a big contract.
It's also where they filmed part of Dog Day Afternoon.
No sugar.
Yeah, I got in trouble from Al Pacino. He yelled at me.
Barbara, I don't have much money in the bank in the first place, but I've got enough money invested into precious metals. Brass, copper, and lead are going to be real precious real soon.
Yeah.
Well, I just hope this doesn't turn into a world war.
with how Putin has been acting, I can definitely see it.
So
I
The
had this
amount of-
conversation with somebody else about being a doomsday prepper. It was actually on Cat's show, if you remember, but we talked about being a doomsday prepper. And in terms of Bible prophecy, it does not really serve the cause of Antichrist for everybody to be hiding in holes, because it would serve him that everybody is out and involved and participatory in the economic network and the economic system. So if there is what you call the shit hits the fan scenario, sorry, Bible community, for cussing, but I do that from time to time because I'm over the age of 18.
Like him.
If any such scenario did occur, it would be a very short-lived one, maybe on the order of 6 months, and then everything would reintegrate. So if you plan to be a doomsday prepper, don't plan long-term.
So buy your boxes.
There's
but
two
not for
arguments to
much.
that one. I can agree with the Christianity side, not long term. However, and food does spoil eventually. Everything spoils eventually.
Because in the book of
But-
Thessalonians chapter 2, everybody has to be maneuvered into a position where they can all witness one person giving a sales pitch to the entire world that I should run everything. And everybody looks at him and they realize this guy's probably bad news, but they pick him anyways. And in order to be in that position, you can't be hiding in a hole.
No. But you go long term, you can survive the nuclear fallout.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Now,
your
just as
family can.
Yeah, just as we have in every situation, there are stragglers. There's going to be segments of population over here that won't play. They're going to be weeded out in their own way. But that's the master plan, is to get everybody in, just as it was in the book of Genesis chapter 6, in one place at one time so they can all receive the same treatment. And hiding in a hole will not get that. Forcing people to hide in holes won't get you that.
I just don't think the Bible predicted rednecks.
Yes, they did. They're called Romans.
Yeah. Romans were really badass back then, but rednecks, especially veteran rednecks, are some scary individuals.
But if
The
we
amount
did,
of information and abilities
Biden
they
did
have.
go over there and we went into so-called World War III, how long do you think it would last?
Okay, scripturally speaking, what we think of as World War III would only last 3.5 years. And it's a series of battles, not one. Obviously involving Russia, the King of the North. If you would take a map of the Eastern, of Asia, sit it down, and take a ruler and set it on Jerusalem, north and south, draw a straight line. Part of that line goes just a little bit east of Moscow, and the bottom part of that line goes just a little bit west of the capital of Egypt, which just flew right out of my head. It goes just slightly to the west of the capital of Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
That's the king of the south.
Well, the reason I asked that, we've discussed this on some of our other shows. What better ploy would it be to go into World War III and take it for the next 2.5 years? Because in 2024, in November, if we're in a World War III, it stops elections.
You won't see World War III for another 20 plus years.
I don't want to see
Like I
that.
said, there's a whole bunch of things that have to be in place before we can even get to that, and it's just simply not there yet.
Right.
Practically speaking, we need a global economic system that everybody is not only adherent to but reliant upon. We need a global communication network that everybody is reliant upon. And we need an antichrist. We don't have any of those things yet. But one more thing that's missing.
Technically, do have a global communication that everybody's relying on. A lot of people, the majority of the world relies on the internet.
Right, but here's the thing. It hasn't reached everybody yet. And this is why you keep hearing all this talk about providing broadband for these S-hole countries you never even heard of.
Right.
They're trying to make sure everybody gets connected in this stuff.
Right.
And one thing else that's missing, you got to remember that this World War III we talk about is not about Russia, not about us. It's about Israel. And Israel will be offered the opportunity to have a temple. And that temple must be built and in place before the World War III we talk about takes place.
Right.
These are things you should listen for, because if you hear them starting talking about offering the Israelis the Temple Mount and to have a temple built for them again, something they haven't had in 2,000 plus years, that would negotiate negate them to drop their walls and allow the entire world into their community, something they're desperately fighting against.
Right.
This is something to listen out for. Film at 11.
Well, Carl, I'll see you in about a year. Find us a good sized cave. I'd like to pull my truck in.
Can do.
Yeah, this country would be so easy to take over. You just wipe out the cell towers. Nobody could do anything without their phones.
Thank you for bringing that up. I always wondered, in our movies and in our newscasts.
Well, the real people like me, we would be fine.
Yeah, but we keep
dicking around their phones.
The young generation, the people that are doing,
they'll be lost.
Yeah.
In our movies and in our newscasts, we keep telling terrorists how to hurt us.
They wouldn't be able to drive either. They wouldn't have their phone to dick around with.
I was one of the lucky few that still got directions on MapQuest, so I might have to sense the direction of goldfish, but I can read a map.
And anybody who wanted to hurt this country, the first thing you should go for is the cell towers.
Oh yeah,
it'll blind everything.
Easy. Yep.
Because that'll leave shortwave radio. Because the government's regulated all the other on-air broadcasts. That'll leave shortwave radio.
Right.
One of the reasons you have to have a license to use a CV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is actually illegal to use TV radio without a license.
All right.
What?
We hear breaker 19 again
on a certain on higher frequencies. On lower frequencies, it's not illegal.
I went through 2015, 2016 timeframe, and they said it was illegal to use in general without the licensing. And I was doing this. The company I was with, Kirby Inland Marine, I do have to give them props. They actually try and train people to deal with hurricane hazardous situations. And I do regret not taking the class, but unfortunately, I was actually out on the water during the class, so I wasn't able to get the time off. But that's one thing I would have loved to have been able to get was my CV license. But when they had been talking about it, and this could just be the instructor was wrong, but they had said during this class, you'll learn that you cannot legally use, you can own a CV radio, but you cannot use a radio with it. You can listen in all you want, but you can't use it.
You tell that to 4 million truck drivers.
Yeah,
when I was trying to write an article for my webpage, Bible by Bennett, trying to explain the government taking over broadcast communications, especially, air communications, I found out the beginning in the mid-'80s, there was this gigantic cluster, fight about citizens banned radios because they kept interfering with the EMS, the emergency services bans. And there was a lot of crosstalk. So the government started taking control of the shortwave radio system. And the technology kept evolving as that went along. So they kept changing the laws day by day by day. So the government still had control over what you can communicate over shortwave radio and still not interfere with EMS and police and fire and all them.
Yeah.
I found out an annoying law today, created in 1981, Harris County. You cannot legally own a pet without renewing the license for that pet.
Oh, you need a pet's license?
I have to own a pet's license for Pepper. I'm not telling them about the other one. They can kiss my ass. And I'll be looking at moving out of Harris County real quick because of that. That's ridiculous. You pay for all these fees, you pay for all these vaccinations and everything, and then turn around and you got to pay the city another $20 to $150 to adopt a dog.
Do you know that's how they get a lot of people? In Kansas City, Missouri, they figured most people owned at least 3 animals.
Yeah, they weren't pulling in enough money.
So they decided to tax our animals.
Yeah.
They found out everybody had a lot of animals.
We left Kansas City, Missouri. We had 5 dogs and 3 cats.
It's ridiculous.
Of course, you're limited to only having 3 dogs and 2 cats, but
well, that's just like up here where I live. It's illegal to own a pit bull.
That's illegal in a lot of places, and pit bulls aren't the problem. It's the bad owners.
There is no such thing as a pit bull. That is a slang name.
It's a bulldog.
They are American Staffordshire Terriers. That is their registered pedigree.
But they assume that a dog that looks like that is a pit bull.
It used to be called the nanny dog.
I've seen some that were just
Big babies.
Big babies. I mean,
Ours
just
is a
all
big.
depends on
Ours
the
is a
owner.
big baby,
My
Yeah.
brother's is a
or
baby.
little baby, whichever
Yeah.
you want to call her.
Some Cocker Spaniels are worse than a pit bull.
Well,
There's only one breed that is just
Well,
violent and carnage,
yeah.
and that's Chihuahuas. They're
I hate them.
50% steak and 50% hate.
Yep.
That's
But
all
if
they
you're
do
gonna
is
have
shake
a-
and
Yeah,
hate.
that Kung Fu Chihuahua movie was based on a true story.
Chihuahua. Got
Kung
caught.
Fu Chihuahua. Yeah, that was based
yeah,
on a true
Kung Fu
story.
Chihuahua, or the
Yep,
Taco Bell
they're-
commercial.
I got attacked by one today walking.
Violent
But if you're
little-
going to have a
But
law,
it come out after me and then stop.
right? If you're going to have a law on dogs, have a vicious dog law.
yeah,
Right.
That covers everything.
Right. It
You know,
covers
I can
the-
show you a
covers
Chihuahua
the-
that's meaner than all get out
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
everything.
But I'm pretty sure you can kick the Chihuahua.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've been bit by
pulling
him
that
too.
thing over a house. That's animal abuse. It attacked me. Your dog is violent and not contained or controlled. You need to have it on a leash. My dogs aren't contained or controlled. When I go on walks, they're on leashes. They're not violent. They're just retarded.
I tell you, I used to love WKRP and
Yes,
Les
I'm
Nessman.
talking about you.
And he would say things like he would say Chihuahua, and Dr. Johnny Fever would go Chihuahua, and he's like, no. Or Chi Rodriguez. It was Chai Rodriguez.
Right,
I love WKRP.
but
I
then you
can't see either of those without thinking Chihuahua or
See,
Chai.
That's something people should have a law against. You shouldn't be able to be louder than hell in a vehicle at 4 a.m. I understand motorcycles to an extent because if you can hear them, you can find them. But there are guys with ricers that just make them the most loud, obnoxious thing possible, and they just drive through neighborhoods middle of the night when everybody's trying to sleep.
Did you just hear the car go by our house? Oh,
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah,
and we live rural, so I don't know why.
it's a race car.
I can, like, don't get me wrong. I understand the want and desire for it. I appreciate American classics. That Rumble, there's nothing like it. I love that. Love that. So there's three sounds I really like to hear. That's guns going off, shotguns are getting racked, and old classics were just idle.
Me, my old 65 Impala, and Ron's 70 Monte Carlo.
Yeah, my '67 Camaro. My
But most of
67
them are
Impala.
they're idling through neighborhoods. Those guys are mostly just going through nice and slow, keeping it controlled. These kids with these racers are just laying into.
Yep.
Driving their lawnmowers as fast as they can.
Yeah, that I can understand having a law against. I'm trying to sleep. Don't be a dick. That's not hard. People would be a lot happier if everybody just lived by the motto. Don't be a dick. Because
But
if you're a
I
dick, I have to be a dick. And I can be a better dick than you are.
What I don't like is the people on motorcycles listening to their radio as loud as they can for all of us to hear.
Good point.
Oh, I just want to listen to my music.
I don't want to listen to your music.
They have helmets with built-in Bluetooth and cameras now. Like there's other
Right.
cheaper means than letting everybody else you're listening to Texas, Mexico, whatever.
We were coming back from St. Louis last weekend, and there was this guy on his motorcycle just having a great time on
He's all
Interstate
over the
70. I was like,
You know, Denise, having
Just jamming.
owned a motorcycle for a number of years, never once did I come across anybody going on their motor because they usually get beat up.
Yeah,
That's what he was
that's what he was doing.
Yeah, it's usually the guys that aren't
He was
attached.
dancing, juking, and jacking.
It's usually the guys that aren't attached to any clubs that do that. Now, I have seen clubs that have
Maybe
one
around.
designated bike that has a loud system, so when they go on rides, everybody can have music. But that dude does not regularly ride that bike. He takes that bike out for their rallies and their meets and everything, so that way they can all have music. And they usually keep it respectable when they're driving down. But once they get to the area, they crank it up. They're where they're at. They wanted music. They had a bike. Made sense. But yeah, the guys that just cruise around and are jamming, yeah. I have never seen a club member do anything like that ever.
No, they won't.
And I've dealt with the Banditos, a lot. That's a really huge club. What was the Black and Gray Club?
My grandfather was a pagan.
Had them once.
And then there's Hell's Angels, which
never had to deal with them.
They're not as bad as people make them out to be.
No. Well, I told you about my run-in with the pagans in East Baltimore, right?
Yeah. That's where my grandfather's crew used to hang out.
Yeah, I thought I was going to buy it that night. I really did.
And one thing a lot of people don't understand, when you try and get into a fight with that guy, you've got to be very respectful, even if he's being belligerent, because they're looking after their family. And I've gotten into this situation. I've had to explain it. And I have had club members come and apologize to me either that night or later on for the actions of some of their members. But you need to deal with it in a very respectful manner, because you're not fighting that guy one-on-one. You're fighting the whole club that's there. Biker gangs are very respectful, but they have a lot of camaraderie. They are a brotherhood. And if you screw with one of them,
you screw with all of them.
Good luck. I'm going to sit back and film it. I'm not getting involved beyond that. Well, you're a big guy. I don't care. I don't want to die tonight. Hey, because they might fight you, but they're going to stab me.
We found that out down there at Blue Springs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, doing a show down there and everything, and then the banditos came in. They were nice as could be.
Mm-hmm.
Especially that old boy that was 7 foot tall.
They usually are.
500 pounds.
I really like that club. They were one of the ones that really wanted me to get a bike. I guess they wanted me in the club or something. They loved when I worked at the bar. I just couldn't afford one. I love that club a lot. They are and they would constantly do charity rides all the time. And then we have another veteran club down here. It was,
I apologize. I'll let you in on the secret later.
I don't know, but I've had a couple.
It must be a good one.
No, Chad, I used to work at Pop's Ice House. It's in Kingwood area. Oh yeah, I'm definitely fixated on getting a Harley, man. Just
why? Why?
Didn't they go out of business?
I mean, if you take the nameplate off of it, it's a Suzuki.
I haven't found a Suzuki I like, but the Harley has a black up model. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't mind an Indian.
Because I had a Yamaha, and I did. I paid 120 on mine.
Yamaha has some pretty good ones as well, but Harley had at least recently they had a blacked out. Oh hell!
Yeah, I know what you're thinking of. I can't think of the name of it either.
It was recent. It was like 2 years ago. They just released a new model.
But I really think you're paying for a name.
Yeah, that's the one problem I really have with it. If I can find something I liked in a Yamaha Indian, something else. But I also got threatened with violence if I didn't get a Harley. So
yeah, I know.
The thing is didn't they stop building Harleys here in Kansas or in Missouri?
Mm-hmm.
So are they still building them anywhere? Or is it just all the ones that they have?
We've still got
Harleys. They filed for bankruptcy, but they came back.
They keep doing that.
The Banditos, they might be nice and lovely and everything, but you better get a Harley.
Yeah.
You better get a Harley.
You know what? I say get an Indian. I think those are neat looking bikes.
They are. They are nice. They are nice bikes.
And nobody's going to say a damn thing to you about it being not cool.
You're not coming back up here. You've already been a part of the show.
So,
no.
Frank, do you have anything you want to tell everybody before the show's over? We got about 15 minutes, less than 15 minutes.
I was scheduled to do a show up in Rochester, New York in a few weeks called the Rochester Winter Pear Fest.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go, basically, because I did it once before and nobody showed up. I'm going to miss not seeing my friends, Krista Cesieri and Mike King and people like that. But quite honestly, I have to make judgment calls based on what's good for me in my career, not filling a seat or a table. Right. And I just noticed that they're advertising here. We have enough psychic readers. Please, we don't need any more psychic readers. So what does that tell you?
Yeah, that tells you.
No reflection on them. Decent people, decent show, but I'm going to be that week of the 25th through the 27th. I'll be in Memphis, Tennessee at a science fiction writers convention.
I told him he couldn't come up on the left, so he's trying to get up on the desk.
Well,
and that's a better place. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ted Van Son's a really nice guy. I really like him a lot. But that when you're seeing that all the headliners are all psychic mediums, you got to go with, is this a psychic fest or is this a paranormal conference?
It's a paranormal convention. They're getting, like I said, Mike King, he was on Ghost of Shepherdstown, who's only this tall. And believe it or not, his wife is even shorter. I have to get on my knees to talk to her. But
he seems like a nice guy.
And like I said, Chris DeCesieri, who's a wonderful, wonderful guy. I love him much. But he's a good draw. But for me personally, like I said, I did the show a few years ago, and not a lot of people came in the door, and I don't think it's for me, so I'm not going to that event.
Wasn't that the year that they got a shitload of snow right before or during?
The event took place right after that, actually.
That's what I thought. Because I talked to him.
You're not coming.
I talked to Ted Van Son around that time.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a show that's opposite mine.
Whenever your event is just chock full of psychic readers, you have a problem.
Yeah, you do.
I'm seeing that in a lot of different shows. When everything you're every day you have a gallery reading.
So many of my friends are psychic mediums and master psychics, and they're competitive.
Yeah,
you rarely see them in a kumbaya.
Oh yeah,
but you think they know that there's too many and not book it,
right?
So,
and
they're doing that.
I apologize, but I got to make decisions based on what's good for me.
Right.
To go from
if it's better for me to be at a sci-fi convention, sci-fi writers convention, because my second book is called Ghost in Philadelphia, which is actually paranormal science fiction. I blend the science fiction with the paranormal. And as an author, this is a bigger event for me than sitting around with a bunch of psychic readers in Rochester, New York.
Yeah. And I think you'll have fun in Memphis. Good barbecue. Good
music. Yeah, I ought to play well, huh?
Well, yeah, they might think you're an Elvis impersonator. Wear that white outfit you wear.
Yeah, the white outfit. Yeah.
Don't forget the fringe.
With the black. All black.
That's a better location than the other place.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, Memphis is also a market I've never worked before. There were other shows down there I wanted to do, but they got canceled because of COVID. And it's a market I've never actually appeared in before. And there's actually another event coming up in June, which is a Western Film Fair. They draw a different type of crowd, but it's still a great crowd to work, which is I'm looking forward to. So, my decisions are based on what's best for me as a writer and as an author and as a speaker.
Yeah, you have to do that at this point in time because you can't do the charity stuff.
Yeah, and I get asked by production companies to do paranormal TV shows, but quite honestly, me showing up on a TV show doing exactly what everybody else is doing would make me a hypocrite.
Right.
Because if you've read my book, you realize I'm really, really very critical of the ghost hunting community. And our science only stretches so far, and then you hit a wall, and then you're left with the spiritual matters, which nobody has a concept of.
Right. One of the shows that I have coming up is the importance of religion in the paranormal. And I had to postpone that show a second time because of some things happening with my producer. And so I think it's in March that I'm going to have it. And with Richard Grund, who's a rabbi. So I think it'll be interesting for that. And you may enjoy that one, Frank.
I enjoy everything a little bit.
Oh, Richard's a good guy.
I like
really
Richard a lot. So
interesting story.
It is
how he got to where he is.
Interesting.
Crazy.
In fact, I know that Steve was looking forward to that one. So hopefully we will be getting that. I already have it rescheduled. Hopefully I get to have it soon. So,
yeah, I've noticed that I've met thousands upon thousands of people at these live events since 2015 when I started touring. And I noticed that no matter how long I let somebody talk about their experiences, eventually, somehow, we're going to come around to your beliefs. It will make its way there eventually if I just let you talk long enough.
Yep.
And when they begin to talk about their beliefs and their whatever faith they may have, they get emotional. Because what happens to people on a spiritual level encountering these entities, or even the Sasquatch for that matter, affects people on a personal spiritual level. They don't realize it because they don't have a fundamental understanding of their spirit. It's a very foreign feeling to them. But if I let them talk enough, they articulate that. You can see it in them.
I start questioning somebody's beliefs, they get very adamant very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
It's one reason I don't like talking about religion too much.
I really enjoy, we like to watch the paranormal shows, like that Paranormal, Caught on Camera, blah, blah, blah. And when they have these ghost hunters out in foreign countries like Saudi Arabia or something, and they walk in going, praise Allah, 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 Allah. Allah is great, da, 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 da. And they hear a little bump and they go, Allah, 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 and they're running out.
Yeah.
It makes you think that, it may be a different religion, maybe a different language, different people.
But it's still the same reaction.
It's same reaction to get viewers.
I'll tell you, though, that Paranormal Caught on Camera, I would much rather watch the Osbournes Want to Believe. It's the same show, just the commentators.
But with better.
That goes to my point about characters. If it weren't for the characters, would we watch it? Because Jack Osbourne is basically just, is props to him, but he's really just offering up stuff we've seen on other shows.
Right.
And that's why I would much rather watch them than watch Aaron Sager and random people give their
Aaron's
opinion.
pretty.
And
So-called
everything is paranormal. They're not questioning any of it.
I know.
None.
At least Ozzy's going, it's ball lightning. He's questioning it at least. And Sharon's going, it's fake. She goes, I know it's fake. And so I like it. And I don't care about anybody else, but if you're going to watch Paranormal Caught on Camera, watch the Osbournes Want to Believe. You're going to laugh a lot more.
Right, exactly.
Right.
And the funny thing
I know, Carl. I know.
They beep Sharon more than they beep Ozzy, which is
Well,
funny.
we got about 3 minutes left on the show here. Frank, again, I want to thank you for coming to Paranormal Nation Radio over here. Cameron, what do we got coming up?
Well, Friday, you can look forward to seeing myself and Wally for the Second Amendment Ranch, as well as Free Speech, Free Stupidity. And I talk about a man having a intimate meeting with a snowman. You can also look forward to the People's Voice. Monday, we have Born TV After Hours or After 9. Last week was interesting for the
Sunday. Sunday at 7 p.m. we have Freedom TV.
Well,
that's a new show started.
We're working on getting some more guests. We're working.
Sometimes cats.
Yeah.
Yes. And Luke has worked very hard on getting the Free Speech, Free Stupidity, and Bill of Rights Discord and the Second Amendment Ranch Discord all nice and pretty. So be sure to check out those shows so you can get those links there. I'm trying to find some more guests. And hey, Liquid Death, if you want to sponsor me.
Right.
You don't
Denise, what do you got coming up?
It's water.
So remember I was talking about I know, I've seen it. It's expensive.
No, it's not. It's $1 a can.
Oh, well, it's expensive here. Ooh. But next Monday, when I was talking about the religion and the paranormal, that's when I have Richard Grund rescheduled for, is March 7th. And then on March 14th, I have Bigfoot Fact or Fiction. So that's going to be fun.
And it's not about me.
So, and if you guys want to check it out, there's no Cameron involved in this. There's no video involved in this at this point. Either. But you're listen to me on WBHM-DB.com out of Birmingham, Alabama. And
I just love to see some better evidence. Well, I'd like to see some good evidence.
Right.
Not better, just any. But
that's it.
That's it. And
Frank, just check us out on WBHM-DB.com.
Right. And Frank, what do you got coming up I know you said you was talking about some Paracons into this month. Let our viewers know we had got them all over the United States and all over the world watching right now.
Hello, everybody in languages I cannot speak. In 10 days, I appear in Richwood, West Virginia, featured speaker to open Dave Spink's event, MonsterCon. And that's a 3-day event. And 2 weeks after that, I'm in Memphis, Tennessee for the Mid-South Con. It's a science fiction festival. And in about 2 weeks, my next book comes out. It's about it's religion. It's about questions for God. And I will see you guys on the road.
Sounds great. Again, check out Bill of Rights Network on Facebook and Things Network, where we're live at over there too. Everything over there is paranormal. So with that being said, we got another show coming up right after this one. We will see you all next Tuesday night. Everybody have a good evening.
See.
Night, everybody.